The future of cars has always fascinated humanity. From the day the first engine roared to life, we have been obsessed with imagining what comes next. Will our roads be filled with silent electric machines gliding under glowing neon lights? Will the skies above us swarm with flying taxis, taking us from one side of a megacity to another in minutes? Or will artificial intelligence take control of our vehicles so completely that we will sit back as passengers in machines smarter than we are? Today, we are going to take a journey into time itself, to the year 2050, and explore what cars, mobility, and transportation might look like in a world powered by electricity, guided by AI, and freed from the ground by flying technologies. Imagine futuristic CGI cities where every surface glows with digital life, where drones fly overhead like metallic birds, and where charging stations hum with clean energy while vehicles communicate with each other without a single word spoken by humans. Before we begin, think about this question. In your view, what will be the biggest change by 2050? Keep it in your mind, because as we go through this journey, you may find your answer changing. But to understand the future, we have to step back and look at the past. In the late 1800s, the world witnessed something extraordinary. The invention of the automobile changed not only how we travel, but how we live, how we build cities, and even how we think about freedom. The early cars were loud, slow, and unreliable, but they carried with them the promise of independence. People no longer needed to rely only on horses or railroads. The car gave the individual power over distance. Over the decades, cars transformed. The roaring 20s gave us stylish machines. The mid-20th century gave us muscle cars, symbols of power and freedom. Then came the oil crisis of the 1970s, reminding us that every revolution comes with consequences. Cars were not just technology, they became culture, identity, and even status symbols. And as they spread across the planet, they brought with them both prosperity and pollution, speed and traffic jams, freedom and dependence on fossil fuels. This paradox is what leads us to today. Right now, in the 2020s, we are standing at a crossroads. Look around, and you'll see how rapidly things are changing. Electric vehicles are no longer rare experiments. They are becoming mainstream. Charging stations are popping up in neighborhoods and highways. Artificial intelligence is being built into cars, guiding drivers with autopilot features and advanced driver assistance systems. And above our cities, companies are testing electric vertical takeoff and landing, aircraft eVTOLs that may one day carry passengers as easily as hailing a cab. We are living in a transition period where science fiction is slowly but surely becoming science fact. But what will all of this look like in the year 2050? Let's break it down into the three megatrends shaping the future: electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, and flying cars. First, electric vehicles. The shift away from gasoline is not just about cleaner air or reducing climate change. It's about transforming the entire ecosystem of mobility. By 2050, many countries will have completely banned fossil fuel cars. Imagine walking through a city where every car, every bus, every truck, and even motorcycles and bicycles run on clean, silent electricity. Streets will sound different. No more roaring engines or exhaust fumes. Instead, there will be a quiet hum, the sound of progress. Charging stations will be everywhere, but they won't look like today's gas stations. Instead, roads themselves may carry wireless charging systems built into the asphalt. You could simply drive, and your car will charge itself on the go. Batteries will be smaller, lighter, and capable of lasting for thousands of kilometers on a single charge. Recycling and repurposing of old batteries will become an entire industry of its own. And for long-distance travel, solar highways and smart grids will ensure cars never run out of energy. The simple act of refueling will no longer exist. Energy will flow around us constantly, invisibly, just waiting to be tapped. Second, artificial intelligence. If you think your car is smart today because it can park itself or keep you in your lane, wait until you see what 2050 looks like. Cars will no longer be cars as we know them. They will be intelligent companions. Imagine stepping into your vehicle and it already knows your schedule, your mood, your favorite music, and the fastest route. It talks to other cars around it, predicts traffic before it happens, and ensures accidents are nearly impossible. In 2050, accidents caused by human error may be a thing of the past. Instead of millions of people dying each year in road crashes, cars will communicate in real time, creating a network of safety and efficiency. The human role may shrink dramatically. You won't drive in the traditional sense. You'll choose where to go, and the car will do the rest. Entertainment systems will transform cars into moving living rooms, offices, or even bedrooms. Augmented reality will cover windshields with live information. Need directions? They'll float in the air. Want to see weather updates or news? It'll be displayed seamlessly in your vision. AI won't just change how we drive. It will change how we live during travel. The line between home, work, and car will blur. And third, flying cars, also known as EV. For decades, movies and cartoons promised us flying cars, and by 2050, this dream may become routine. Cities will have sky lanes, just like highways. Invisible roads in the air mapped by satellites and AI. Noise-free, electric flying taxis will lift vertically from rooftops, carrying people across cities in minutes. The daily commute may no longer mean being stuck in traffic. Instead, you might rise above it all, looking down on the city like a bird. Airports will look different. Rooftop vertiports will exist on office buildings, malls, and residential complexes. These flying vehicles won't just be for the rich. As technology matures and costs drop, air travel will become as affordable as ground travel. Imagine a world where distance within a city no longer matters. You could live far away in nature and still work in the heart of a megacity. Because your daily commute is a 10-minute flight. This will redefine not just cars, but the very idea of cities themselves. But here comes the big question. How much of this is reality, and how much is science fiction? Hollywood has always shown us breathtaking visions of the future cities, filled with neon lights, cars flying in every direction, robots controlling everything. In truth, the path to 2050 will be more complex. Technology moves fast, but laws, regulations, infrastructure, and human behavior move slower. For example, while the technology for flying cars is advancing rapidly, governments will take years to ensure air safety, create sky traffic systems, and protect privacy. Similarly, AI is powerful, but how much control are we willing to hand over to machines? These are ethical questions that society will have to face. Will people accept that they no longer drive their own vehicles? Will we trust AI with our lives? And what about jobs? Millions of drivers, truckers, taxi operators, delivery workers may see their roles vanish. The future is not just about shiny new machines. It is about how humans adapt to them. As we look deeper into the roads of 2050, the story becomes not just about technology, but about the human world that technology creates. Imagine a city where traffic jams no longer exist because artificial intelligence has orchestrated every movement. Cars no longer compete for space. They flow like rivers, each vehicle aware of every other vehicle around it. In such a world, city design itself will change. Today, parking lots and gas stations take up huge amounts of space in urban landscapes. By 2050, these may be relics of history. Cars that can drive themselves can also park themselves far away, or simply keep moving until needed. Gas stations will be replaced by energy hubs, glowing towers where vehicles rest, recharge, and rejoin the system in silence. Entire neighborhoods may reclaim land that was once concrete, transforming into parks, gardens, and human spaces once again. The car of the future will not just carry us. It will reshape the very ground we live on. Yet this journey is not without challenges. The transition to electric and AI-driven systems will require immense amounts of energy, rare earth metals, and global cooperation. Mining lithium, cobalt, and other minerals needed for advanced batteries will create new political and environmental questions. By 2050, recycling and sustainable alternatives must be perfected, or else the promise of green energy could be shadowed by hidden costs. But human creativity is powerful. Researchers are already developing batteries made from salt, sand, and even organic materials. By mid-century, energy storage might not look anything like the lithium cells we know today. Instead, it could be solid-state, quantum-based, or powered by nanotechnology, capable of charging in seconds and lasting for decades. What seems impossible today may be routine tomorrow. Artificial intelligence will also raise deep ethical questions. If cars can think for themselves, who is responsible when something goes wrong? Is it the manufacturer, the programmer, or the owner who never actually touched the wheel? By 2050, laws and systems of responsibility will evolve, but so too will the relationship between humans and machines. AI will not just drive cars, will become a trusted partner. Imagine a car that knows you so well, it can sense when you are stressed and adjust lighting, temperature, or even play your favorite childhood song to calm you. A car that becomes an emotional companion, not just a tool. At the same time, this closeness will challenge the idea of privacy. Every journey you take will be tracked, analyzed, and remembered by systems. Society will need to decide how much of ourselves we are willing to give to technology in exchange for comfort and safety. Flying cars will open the sky, but they too bring questions. How do we stop the skies from becoming crowded? How do we prevent accidents in 3 dimensions, where vehicles can move up, down, left, right, forward, and backward? The answer will be layers of invisible highways in the air. Guided by satellites and real-time AI, cities will glow not only with lights on the ground, but also with pathways of moving vehicles in the sky, organized like living constellations. Noise will be reduced by advanced electric propellers, and safety will be maintained by constant communication between each flying unit. But just as the invention of airplanes reshaped wars, travel, and global trade, flying cars will reshape geopolitics. Nations will compete not just on land or sea, but in altitude, airspace. Security, defense, and privacy will all face new challenges. The technology that gives us freedom also demands responsibility. One of the most profound impacts will be on how humans think about time itself. Today, commuting can waste hours every day, time lost forever in traffic jams. In 2050, commuting may become productive, or even restful. You may wake up, step into your vehicle, and spend your trip finishing work, watching a film, or meditating. While AI handles the journey, time that was once wasted will be reclaimed. And with flying vehicles, distance will shrink. People will live farther away from crowded cities, in homes surrounded by nature, while still being only minutes away from workplaces and entertainment. Cities may spread wider, not through chaos, but through balance, as mobility erases the penalty of distance. At the same time, not every vision will be realized equally across the globe. Megacities in developed nations may be filled with skyports, glowing highways, and AI-guided flows of traffic, while rural areas may see simpler but still powerful transformations: solar-powered electric bikes, community ride-sharing drones, and automated delivery fleets. The future of cars is not just about the rich or the powerful. It is about humanity as a whole. A farmer in a small village may use an AI truck that drives itself to the market. A student in a crowded city may call a flying taxi for a safe and quick ride to school. Mobility will become a basic human right, not a luxury. Yet even in this vision of abundance, nostalgia will survive. Just as people today collect classic cars from the 1950s or race vintage models on weekends, by 2050, some may still drive gasoline engines for the joy of it. They will not be part of daily transport, but part of history preserved. Museums will showcase roaring engines beside silent, glowing EVs, reminding us of where we came from and how far we have gone. And perhaps, one day, when a child sees an old movie with cars burning fuel and humans gripping steering wheels, they will laugh in disbelief. Did people really drive themselves? Did they really burn oil to move around? To them, it will feel as strange as horses pulling carriages feel to us now. Reality, however, will always be a blend of dreams and limits. The vision of 2050 will be grand, but it will also face human hesitation, bureaucracy, inequality, and the stubborn nature of change. Not every city will have flying cars. Not every country will abandon fossil fuels. Some will move fast, others slow. The timeline may stretch beyond 2050 in some places. But even so, the momentum is unstoppable. The wheel has turned, and humanity is moving toward a future where cars are not just machines, but living networks of intelligence, power, and flight. What was once only science fiction is becoming our collective reality, one invention at a time. And now, as we stand at the edge of this imagined world, let's step back and breathe. The year 2050 is only 25 years away. It is close enough that many of us will live to see it, yet far enough that anything remains possible. Some of the predictions may come true exactly, others may evolve in unexpected ways. That is, the beauty of the future. It is always a mix of certainty and mystery. As we close this journey, ask yourself again, what do you believe will be the biggest change by 2050? Will it be the silence of electric highways, the intelligence of AI companions, or the freedom of flying across the skies like birds? Share your vision, because the future of cars is not written by machines alone. It is written by all of us, together, dreaming forward.